Franklin County Fiscal Court Zoom meeting for the Energy Committee, and we are missing Squire Tracy. Is that correct?
Yes.
We do have Squire Blackburn and myself, which are members of the committee here, so we may move forward. And then Judge Barton, I believe you have a viewing of who all else is on. I don't have that.
Yes, Judge, I do. I show Judge Wells, Squire Blackburn, Taylor Bonta, Rory Siegert, Ryan Minor, Teresa Barton from ESG, Robert Hewitt, Ann Northcutt, Deputy Judge Herod, Andrew Tippett, Assistant Chief Brewer, Wes Culberson, and Greg Copley. Did I miss anyone? Okay. With that, if it's okay, sir, we'll jump right back into the progress update. I'll turn it over to Ryan Minor.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. So got the photos pulled up here. We'll run through those here. First thing for the progress update. So what we're looking at here is the smaller generator for the food storage building. It's installed, gas line to it. Everything's terminated inside the transfer switch. Just need to get a short outage to get that swapped over and available for use. So again, that's that smaller 25 kW generator. Here is a picture of down in the mechanical room. This is of the larger 300 kW generator. Just kind of want to give you guys a picture. I believe last time there was a couple wires in there. As you can see, we filled pretty well all the space. This was a few days ago, so all those wires are cleaned up. They are currently ran from point to point from the transfer switch over to the inside the mechanical room to where they'll be landed once we schedule our outage.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Is that an insulated plenum right there?
Whereabout are you? This
The
box,
one that's roughed up a little bit?
That is, I'm trying to get my bearings. It's not ductwork, if I recall. It's that chilled water storage tank or kind of overflow tank.
Okay.
It's a chill water.
Right
It's a chill water expansion tank.
Thank you.
It needs a little love.
A little.
Here I've got a picture. I know we talked about it before. We've had the controls up for a little while. Thought it'd be a good idea to get a kind of screen grab of what the new controls are. Obviously, previously everything was done manually out in the field. So now Wes has the ability to see these units remotely and actually control them from his computer workstation. So, this kind of gives a depiction of the ductwork, chilled water, hot water coils, filters, and gives you your feedback information on temperatures. And again, the ability to make some changes and see in almost real time, how it changes. Doors. So we started doing the door replacement. Got a before picture. Can't recall which rec yard this is in. This is a before photo. Here it is after they took the door off. Obviously, it's got a little bit. It wasn't quite that banged up. In place. Used a little bit of force to get it out. Just kind of showed the condition they were in prior to the replacement. Here, I know it's probably hard to see. I just want to give you guys an idea of what the demo process looked like. So this is the actual frames. You can see they're grout filled and have to come out in pieces. Not an easy process. Takes a while to get those cut out. But the group doing that work was doing a great job. Here's during the installation process. You can see we got it bolted up, welding some plugs up. And then I'll get a picture closer up of that valve that's up there and show you what that's used for. This is a hopper that they put the grout in after it's mixed and pump it into the frame to make it solid and secure. As you notice from the old frame, it was grout filled, so this is the process they use to do that. And here's how they use that valve. So they hooked up a pipe and they pump that grout directly into the frame. Once it's filled up, they remove that, weld a plug on there, bondo it up, and then it's a nice solid frame from there. Here's this is actually the first door that they did. This is installed and finished product what we're looking at.
That looks like they didn't tear up the ephes very bad at all.
No, that's actually in pretty well the same condition it was originally. Yeah, no, they've done a great job. They used, as you can see there on the floor, they got a large saw to cut that frame out, use grinders to cut out any parts and pieces. They did a really good job of trying to take care. I haven't gone through with a fine-tooth comb to see exactly what repairs are needed, but they have been doing a good job with that.
It looks like just touch up the jams and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Do they paint the door in the frame?
Yes, so we've got that as part of our scope to do. In fact, I had a contractor out there to get their eyes on the new doors and start getting ready to do that work. So yes, we do get the doors and frames painted.
What about the locks? Are the locks transferable, or do they have to put new locks on them?
Yeah, so they reused the existing hardware. So they removed them. In fact, they cleaned them up and reinstalled. Talking with some of the guys there, specifically Jeff Abrams, who's doing our on-site supervision. He's talking that after they got done with it, they're operating very nicely now. This is a picture of the roof hatch. Last time we didn't have that, or I didn't verify that we had the safety rail up. So now I took a picture of that safety rail, post installation. So that wrapped up our roof work with the skylights as well. So I got pictures of the skylights. So all 4 of them have been installed, and those vestibules are now watertight from the top sides.
Ryan, can I ask Jake or Wes how that's working? What have they seen a difference in those areas?
I'll let Wes answer that. He's been out there more than I have.
I'm sorry, I was on a call. What was the question? I'm sorry.
They put the doors in, the skylights in, those areas that were really rough. Have you seen a difference? Is it working okay?
Yeah, it's definitely keeping animals out. That's for one certain thing. That front one there that he's actually got a picture of now, we couldn't keep birds out of that thing. Those barn swallows would get in there and make a mess of that. So it's definitely improved quite a bit.
And you are using them now, is that right?
The doors there are pretty much more of just an emergency exit in case of a fire, so they're not used every day now.
Okay.
And Judge, those areas are where the areas where we are replacing doors as well. So we don't have that front one done that we're looking at, but the other areas where the skylights are, we do have those doors replaced.
Okay. Thank you. You can go ahead, Ryan. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's all I've got for the progress photos. As far as work completed from our last meeting. Any questions on those?
How many doors do they have left to put in?
There's 11 total. We have 6 completed, so 5 left.
And now, Ryan, since we've got the skylights and everything on, have we had a big rain episode really test them like we did the roof. I know the roof, we had a lot of events that tested the roof and that was a good thing.
Right. They were on shortly after our last meeting. They're the end of September. Trying to think back. I know we've had rain here in the Evansville area. I can't recall there in Frankfurt, but I'm sure there's been some events to where if there was any major issues, we would notice it. But we'll definitely keep an eye on it, especially as we're getting those doors replaced. Getting those areas cleaned up. We'll be able to identify any issues that pop up.
Squire, we're supposed to get some rain tonight and tomorrow. I'll check them tomorrow.
Thanks. Thanks, Jake.
I'll take care of that, boss.
Mhm.
Any other questions on photos?
Ryan, if you want to just go on, then if there aren't any.
Yep.
Just continue on the agenda progress schedule update.
I will pull up the schedule. Hopefully it's easy enough to read here. We're slowly knocking some items off here at the list. So I'll just kind of run through. So plumbing upgrades, that's our water conservation side. We do have all the additional isolation valves installed. So I've got our water group coming in. That's Infinity Water to resume that water conservation work. They told me first part of November. I got a definite start date from them today, and it will be November 9th. Wes and Jake, I'll share that with you guys along with Jeff Abrams, make sure we've got our coverage coordinated properly. But again, November 9th is the day they'll be starting the water work. Now, we'll be working at the jail first. Once they get that completed, they'll roll to the downtown and road department to take care of those facilities. The generator, as I mentioned earlier, we've got wires pulled, majority of them landed, that can be landed prior to the outage. What we ran into to separate life safety from the remainder of the facility, we need an additional breaker to have enough lugs there to land on. So we are in the process of procuring an additional breaker and an enclosure to keep that in. So right now I'm in a slight holding pattern with that work. We are working on a solution to get that resolved. Once we get that taken care of, obviously we'll be able to coordinate our outage there. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, Ryan, and y'all may have covered it yesterday. I couldn't make that one. Are the UV lights permanently wired now?
I haven't had Hills back in there yet to permanently wire those. They've got 6, 7, and 6 and 7 left to do that I'm aware of. But again, they're all running, so we'll get that knocked out.
Jake, have you seen a difference? Are they making a difference?
Yes, sir. I believe this round of COVID got out of here a lot quicker because of them. I mean, I truly believe that.
So again, generator work, once we get that outage taken care of, we'll be able to get the old generator out and get the remaining boiler set, which I'll cover there in the HVAC portion. Also on the generator, like I mentioned, we've got the small food storage prep building completed. Just a matter of getting a outage window there to get that tied in and available for service. HVAC upgrades. Obviously, all air handlers are up and running. Controls are in good shape. We have had test and balance on site week before last. They've completed what they could. There was, with the hot water side, they couldn't finish that just due to that third boiler. So we'll get that completed. But the tab has been completed and get turned over to controls testing. So I'll have a group out there that will be kind of our third party to ensure that the controls are functioning as needed per our sequence and what we have scoped. Again, on the HVAC, we have that third boiler to install, which is for summer heating. That's for the reheats there in the admin side. So we do have the 2 larger boilers installed, water in them, and running. So we're ready for the upcoming winter months. On the, let's see, jail door replacement, as I mentioned, we had 6 doors installed. We've got 5 left remaining. We've had a swing discrepancy that we are getting taken care of. We've got some doors on their way to get those corrected. Got a update 3 weeks to have those. So we're looking here second week in November to have those. That's for the kind of front area, not the exit vestibules that we've already done. So again, once we get those, we'll get painted and get that area cleaned up. And then EFIS repair, again, that's that last item we've talked about for a while, holding off until we have all the doors. As JW pointed out, the contractor's doing a great job of ensuring they're not damaging the existing facade there. But we have those holes that we do need to patch. And in fact, painting group, we will probably have them do that EFIS work at the same time. So as soon as I can get a good window out there, we'll probably knock out the EFIS work on those holes and along with painting the doors. One other item I failed to mention there on the plumbing side, we have the sink in the kitchen that we're going to still need to get resolved as far as the backup there. So working with Jets, our mechanical contractor, plumbing contractor, get them scheduled to get that work taken care of. What we've discovered is it looks like there's a clog there on that Baker sink. So we'll get that cleaned out, more than likely rework that piping, and then get it jetted out, and then everything should be operating as it should be.
Hey, Ryan, do we have I see we're looking at November the 22nd on the EFIS repair. Is there a temperature threshold that we have to fall within or above to make sure that's proper?
Right. As of right now, 40 and above, we're in pretty good shape as long as we have some decent, sunlight. So yes, there is some potential with the fall weather that we may have some days where we can't work. But talking with the guys, typically in the fall, around our area, your area, it's decent enough to where we can do that work with no adverse effects.
Yeah, it could be 70 or it could be 20. So I just want to make sure if it is cold, they hold off. I'd rather
Definitely.
be done right than finished on a cold day.
Correct. All right. Any questions on the schedule?
Brian, what about the UV lighting that you install or work on install down here in downtown?
At the 321, yeah, we've got that. I'll hit that on our other discussions. I actually got some documentation today that I would share with the group. I didn't have a chance to send it out prior to the meeting. So if you don't mind, we'll hit it at that portion.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. One thing on the doors, we did save one of the doors as requested by Chief Hutchinson. So we have that stored at the jail warehouse there. So whenever you guys are ready for it, it's available.
Brian, did you say Brian Brewer was on?
Yes, we greatly appreciate it, and we'll work on getting over there and getting that picked up.
Great.
Thank you.
Our next item is the ECM Matrix. So I have that pulled up. Got a few items updated. Apologize for that. So as you can see, we've got plumbing upgrades that we've talked about, the water conservation side left to do. I've got the HVAC still in yellow until we get the complete checkout taken care of. Then the IAQ, that's the UV As talked about earlier, don't have all of them permanently wired, but they are operating. So I'm going to leave that open until I get that resolved. Sewer piping, that's the sink repairs. Again, we've started that, scoped that work, scoped those lines. We'll get that taken care of and knocked off the list. The door replacement, we're able to start. Again, we'll get that taken care of here in the next few weeks. And then EFIS repair, we haven't started, in the backup generator. Still need to get swapped over completely. Substantial completion, I don't have any additional substantial completion items to for a form, but we do have the roof completed. We're just waiting on that warranty letter from Carlisle. So as soon as we have that, we'll be able to obviously turn that over, officially with the signature. The pay application, I don't have any at this time. I think we submitted one there for the last fiscal court meeting. So I need to check my calendar to see, make sure I match the schedule appropriately. Sounds like there's a meeting next week. So I'll verify that I need to get that turned in or not.
Yeah, our next court meeting is the 28th.
Okay. All right.
Ryan, if you have
Yes.
a pay application, we will need that pretty quickly to get it processed. We just didn't have much time between these last couple of courts. So we'll
Okay.
need to expedite that if you need payment out of that next meeting.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you. All right. Other business. As I mentioned, I have the UV items for 321, which I will send this out to the group. This is Pure UV. This is actually a company out of Frankfurt. They're the ones that quoted the work for 321. This is a clean coil system, very similar to what we utilize there at the jail in 313, 315, provided their, instructions. Again, I'll send that to the group. Then I've got some pricing here from them, along with some discussion item here for the use of potential use of remaining customer contingency to pay for a portion of that work. So I'll kind of go over those items here. The first three lines are the actual equipment themselves. That is required for the 7 units at 321. Then we have the labor to install those items. In looking at what's remaining for customer contingency of the 4172, the labor looked like a good way to kind of distinguish that work and utilize those dollars for that. And in lieu of going over creating another change order for that, $700 something, we would just use the 4172 and that would be the end of it. We would obviously cover the labor, and then you guys would direct purchase the UV. So kind of leave that open to discussion here. If anybody has any thoughts, suggestions?
Real quick, we were just trying to figure out the best way to, since we're so close on the project, go ahead and use up your contingency for something that, we've been asked to look at. And then if you want to do a direct purchase, of course, the labor could fall under the performance contract. So we have spoken with our little subcommittee or the working committee on the day-to-day stuff. And that was just sort of the configuration. So we're not married to that, but we were just trying to find the best way to utilize what you have. But if you want to do an additional purchase to get that taken care of in your other buildings, the ones downtown. So if that makes sense.
Is Jeremy on? Jeremy Colston on?
I don't see him. I don't know if he's with someone, and I see Squire Tracy as well now. I do not. Robert is.
Okay, it looked like they're just AC plugs, is that correct? You just plug them in?
Yes. Yes, so they plug in, correct.
So, I've just wondered. So what you're including in there is your all's, fee in the labor part?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The cost is 9,904, and, how much do we have left in the contingency? I thought it was about 11,000. Is that right or wrong?
4,172. We used the portion of it for those additional valves and D-pod at the jail.
Jeremy? Okay. So I'm just wondering if it would behoove us, if Jeremy could do it, to just do the whole addendum himself. I don't know. He's coming on, I guess, of what Tamara said. I say that to JW and Scotty. So we would need $4,000 for something, figure that up. Actually, $5,100, roughly $5,100.
5031.
Okay,
That would be just the equipment cost, yes.
okay. Well, let me see what Jeremy says. Squire Tracy or Squire Blackburn, you have any thoughts?
Ryan, what's involved in the labor part of that? Is that actually getting into the unit?
Yeah,
placing-
so they'd have to get in the unit, punch a hole in it, get it positioned properly, and then wire it up. Depending on the whip size, the cord size, depends on the electrical need. So there's, I don't have the exact footage on that, but in talking with Pure UV, there would need to be some electrical work to get over to that plug and able to plug those in.
If Jailer Bonner doesn't mind and y'all go that route with Jeremy, I'd be happy to run down there and show them how they put them in up here. It's not very hard. I watched them do every single unit up here. So it's pretty much just a hose saw. You punch 2 holes in it. Screw the light thing down. And
I've put them in before.
yeah, they're pretty easy.
Okay, so that would say $5,000 is what you're saying? Brian, is it 5,031 for the labor or 5,000 for the 31 for the material? I'm sorry.
5,031 for the material, 4,873 for the labor side, or 4,172 for the labor side.
Hey, Judge,
Yes.
I have a portable unit from them, and I went out to their building out on Duncan Road, and they're very good people to deal with too. So just put my 2 cents in. They are very easy to deal with.
It's a local
And
judge.
Yeah, I do want to mention the UV we put in at the jail in 313 was from UV Evergreen. I'm honestly not sure if we knew about Pure UV prior to. When we came about to get this additional pricing, Ryan Baker actually had a meeting with Pure UV and sent me their contact in that timing. So that's how we got hooked up with them here recently. So yeah, Pure UV is different from the ones we put in, but they are all pretty well compatible, and Pure UV can support the other install if need be.
Do these have their own power supply? Is that how these are, or can you just use the power off of furnaces?
There's a plug.
They have,
Let's just have plugs in them.
yeah, they have plugs, so they have their own power supply.
So what do you think?
Well, the ones I put in, we just wired them, to the equipment. But, I mean, it probably wouldn't be much trouble to just run a circuit, for each one and plug them in. I mean, we can put them in, that ain't no problem.
All right,
Right. We're not advocating one or the other. We know it was brought to our attention. It's something you were interested in pursuing. So we're trying to put together the information, the pricing and all that for you. So we're okay either way, whatever's best, whatever you all want to do.
Get that material. We'd be happy to put them in.
Okay. I guess then the question would be to Squire Blackburn and Squire Tracy. Are you all okay? Let me ask Jeremy, Jake, do you say the UV lighting has made a difference in your in the jail, Jake?
Absolutely.
You would recommend it for, especially with number of people that come in our buildings?
No brainer. Absolutely.
Okay. What do you think, Jeremy?
Oh, they can't hurt. I mean, they help. So
So Judge, are we just talking about 321? Are we talking about all the county buildings or?
Well, I thought we were just, at this point in time, we were just talking about either 321 or 315. It
well,
probably
315 is already done.
315 is
It'd just be
already,
this building.
yeah, it'd be this building, yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, Judge, I'll throw out there too. I have a small portable unit from them that until you get these hooked up, if you all want to borrow, I'll send my guy down to do them.
Set it up, is it the portable unit?
It only takes about, for the room you're in, it takes 3 minutes. You hook it up out of there and come out in 3 minutes and it's done. I just don't want a lot of people touching it because it's expensive.
Okay.
Robert, did you get a chance to check with either Ann or someone about the CARES money or other funding? Or I'm not getting into your business, but I feel like that's our role to try to help you guys. I know that a lot of this air quality, indoor air quality had the potential for being covered or at least an eligible expense.
No,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, Ann Northcutt's on, well, that question probably be better for Ann Northcutt.
Yes, Robert discussed that with me, and I think that would certainly qualify as a pandemic response. What I was explaining to Robert is, as far as the CARES funds, all our CARES funds were, of course, translated through to that they're now general fund dollars. So what we would actually be spending would be out of the general fund for this project, even though we're still booking, making sure that we record the expenses that are due to pandemic response that are still ongoing. They're actually being paid for with general fund dollars. So it'd be the same situation here. It would certainly be qualified as pandemic response, and it's a great idea, but it's not CARES money anymore.
Okay. I knew I've had a lot of discussions about that with other clients and folks. I just want to make sure that was brought to your attention.
Tamara, would we have to bid this if we did it ourselves?
I'm sorry, I was on another line.
Would we have to bid this?
What is the cost of it?
Shouldn't be.
1531 just for the equipment.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
5,000.
5,031.
Mm-mm.
It should be a small purchase. I'm not just model procurement code should allow you to purchase this.
Yeah.
I think
Judge, if I could, and I'm sorry, I missed part of the conversation. Would we be procuring the UV lights through our agreement with you, Judge Barton?
Not the way it sounded like Jeremy said they could do it if we purchased it.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
Jeremy can do it. If we purchase it, Jeremy can do it. Why wouldn't we go that route? He's
but
already
sure,
said he could.
I'm just,
Mm.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm just thinking about procurement. At that dollar amount, we would need 3 prices.
Is it 5,000 is you get 3 quotes?
Yes.
If possible.
Well, I can tell you from experience, that company will negotiate.
Yeah, they'll come down below 5. One question for Ryan. Is it just 1 amp? Is that all it draws? Is that what that's saying?
Yes.
So, I mean, I can just put a plug and switch combo on that furnace and just plug it into that, couldn't I, instead of running another circuit?
I would think in fact, I've got, which I will send to the group, their installation instructions. So
Yeah.
I'll get that over to you here in a minute. So.
All right, so why don't we let you all purchase them? And then we'll install. Is that okay? Is that okay with you, Scotty? Is that okay with you, JW?
I think Jeremy would be the one. One thing, but if they're going to mark it up just because they're purchasing for them or for us, then I would think Jeremy should be the one that reaches out. It sounds like maybe he and Jake should go together. If that's how you're going to get the better deal.
We get a better deal. Let's do it then.
That's fine.
All right, sorry to take so long. Well, why don't you just let us handle this? We'll
No
take.
problem. No problem at all.
Take it
Thank you
over.
for researching it for us.
You're welcome. Well, while we're on that subject, we do have the 4172 of remaining contingency. Do you have any other items you would like to use for that? The remaining work, I'm not foreseeing much, unforeseens that you guys might want to look at while we have stuff open.
Can I
just
get a
didn't know if there's
window in
any
my
other-
office? How about it? I want a window, Judge.
Not at this moment, Ryan. That's hard to say.
Judge, I will request that you give it to some other agency instead of the jail.
All right. JW?
Ryan, I wanted to ask, I know the EFS was a major concern for a lot of us. And I know we had a height and kind of an area where we were shooting for. I would hope that what we have allotted would cover all of it. But if we have any other spots that don't fall within that height range that we had set on the EFS, I'd love to see that the shell of that jail tightened up and where we don't have any, water encroaching inside those walls and causing any damage.
Okay. Yeah, I can get out there, see if there's any additional spots that I can see, and see if there's any opportunity to utilize those funds for some of that additional work. If that's, I think what you're talking about, right?
And that's just one suggestion. I'm sure that, Robert, I'm sure Jeremy, I'm sure everybody's got some ideas of where we might be able to use that, but that's just something that stood out in my mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage at the mow line I've noticed on the building. So if, like you said, Squire, that may be the smarter expenditure since they're in motion and doing it to get some of those things tightened up so the water doesn't damage, maybe around some of the doors or something. Just
Yep.
to see, it's your money.
Jake,
Yeah.
would you mind getting with Jeremy and you all go out and talk with the company about getting the lights? And it may be they may already have another kind that just hooks in to the electric of the heat. They may have two different kinds.
Yeah.
An AC and a direct and a DC.
I don't mind at all.
Thank you. All right, that's good on this one.
All right. That was the only other business I had. I'll turn it over to Teresa, I guess, if you want to lead the remainder there.
Right. Is there any other business that would be discussed? Any thoughts, ideas? I know there's been a lot of activity and we're kind of hopefully getting down to the final part. Seeing none, are there any committee member comments? We refer to the judge and the squires first.
I don't have anything, Judge. Thank you.
I don't have anything either, but I'll defer to the folks at the jail and Robert and Jeremy. If you can keep all those guys happy, then I'm happy.
Great. That's good. Scar Tracy, did you have anything, sir?
No, ma'am, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Rather than going through the list, anyone have anything? Either raise your hand, speak up. That way I don't have to go through each person unless you'd like for me to. Yes, Robert?
I just want to let the committee know that the ESG team and county staff have progress meetings. So the communication lines are always open, and so we're able to discuss items at those progress meetings. Teresa and I always meet also to prepare the agenda. So, ESG has done a fabulous job communicating with their client, and it's made the process go smooth.
Well, and thank you. Ryan, let me ask you this. Ending date, the last, still, are you thinking the middle of December? And are you all looking at been working with Kim Cox, looking at our heating analysis, water usage and all that?
I have not reached out to Kim Cox since I think we talked to her maybe a month or so ago. I think she had all the information she needed, but I can definitely touch base with her to see if there's anything we can provide. As far as an end date, December, that's if everything goes great with weather and also the generator breaker. With the issues with supply chain, I'm fearing we're going to have some problems getting those items that we're needing. So as far as being completely done in December, I fingers crossed, yes, but no, reality is probably going to be in January, because once we get the generator work completed, we still have to get the old one out and get that third boiler set. So that's kind of where I'm targeting right now, if that helps.
Hey, Ryan, I just wanted to circle back to the pay application. I see that the next Energy Committee meeting is November the 18th. So our next fiscal court meeting after the 28th is on the 19th. So that could really push you all out as far as getting payment for services. So it will be really critical for you all to get something to us ASAP to get on the October 28th bill report.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Then it looks like we would probably have to get anything else to you for the 12th, for the 18th would be on the 12th of November. Ryan, if you want to mark those down, sir.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we certainly appreciate doing work with you. It's not over yet, but it's certainly been a pleasure. This is, of course, my very favorite project for lots of reasons. But I just thank everyone for their input, participation, and also just communication. I feel like it's a two-way street. Robert mentioned working with us. We appreciate it, but you all are easy to reach, communicate with, and give us answers. And we appreciate that. Judge, I know that directly goes to you and your leadership. So thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate all of you. Thank you. And keep moving forward, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? If not, I guess we stand adjourned, if that's okay, sir.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.